3 days away from the unveiling of the Ravens uniforms, plus rumors George Pickens a Raven. That and so much more on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Yes. Good afternoon, good night, good morning, wherever you're watching, and welcome back to episode 398 of the Purple Rain Podcast. The Travis Jones, Brendan Williams, Anthony Weaver, and may he rest in peace to Tony Saragusa edition of the Purple Rain Podcast. It is Monday. It's a whole new week to be great and a whole new week to talk about more Ravens news, and it is officially uniform week. It is uniform week. We get the new Ravens uniforms on Thursday. You're pumped about it. I'm pumped about it. Everybody's pumped about it. I hope they are great. Hopefully, maybe these mock-ups, maybe share a little thing or two. But it's a big week, I think, for the Ravens franchise. The third time in our franchise history, new uniforms. So we'll be locked into that. But first off, you can follow us here on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. And follow us on next. I will try to get a picture of the uniforms and post it on that story, first and foremost.
Here we go.
So make sure you're locked into that. Follow this guy here on Instagram or on X at Sutton Def. Me, X simply AS10. Instagram simply AS10.prod. And yeah, if you have not subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe, join in the live chat, and let us know if you are here. And if you're part of the replay gang, let us know in the comments. But yes, Sutton, it has been, we were talking about it for a little bit. Big weekend sporting wise. I know UFC, crazy card. I hope you watched it if you didn't. Insane. Sports all around, but how are we feeling? How are we doing?
Man, I'm feeling great. Like you mentioned, it is uniform week, and I'm excited as hell. I mean, we're going to react to a video of the Ravens players reacting to their initial, vision or visual of the Ravens new jerseys, and I'm excited for that. But another thing, draft is in like a week and a half, bro. Like, it has snuck up on us like so crazy. It's like, bro, it feels like, honestly, it still feels like the season just ended. And the fact that we're already like pushing draft and right after that is going to be schedule release a couple weeks later. Like, we're kind of moving along through this offseason slowly but surely. Now, listen, I know we're going to probably get to the June months and early July, and that's when it's going to seem as dry as a bone. That's how it is every single year. But listen, that doesn't stop us here at the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel from delivering you with Ravens content every single day of every single week of every single month of every single year, 365 days a year coverage here at PRP. So if that sounds good to you and you love our Baltimore Ravens, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. What are you doing? Right? And also liking the video, another free thing as well, way to support. Liking the video goes a long way for us. It helps us reach more audiences so we can grow this community that we have called the Rain Gang. But yeah, no, Alex, I'm doing well. I mean, over this past weekend, we talked about it, like you said, before we went live here. One big thing for me was UFC 327. UFC 327 was this past weekend, and boy, was it one of the best cards I've ever seen. It was one of the best cards, at least in a very, very long time. That might have been the best card since UFC 300. Shout out to all my UFC fans out there. If you watched that card this past weekend, you know what was up. The main event, you had Carlos Ulberg knocking out Yuri Prochazka after tearing his ACL. So let me set the scene for you guys who don't watch fighting, right? This is a championship light heavyweight match. So both of these guys weigh 205 pounds. Huge guys, a lot of power in their hands, right? About a minute into the fight, one guy tears his ACL, literally tears his ACL. And for all of us football heads in here, we know what a torn ACL comes with, right? We know what a torn ACL normally means, that guys can't even walk after that, let alone continue competing. This guy tore his ACL, blew out his knee completely, and was still up there trading strikes with Yuri Prochazka. And Carlos Ulberg ended up landing a left hook with no base, which is another crazy thing. Like, I'm really into like the technical side of fighting, Alex. And as you know, like in most sports, to generate a lot of power to do what you got to do. So for example, like to generate power to throw a football down the field, you have to use your base, right? You have to use your legs. And just like when you're throwing a punch, you have to sit down and use your base to generate torque and force for that punch to actually be impactful. Carlos Ulberg threw a punch on a blown out knee. on a blown out knee. That means it was all upper body and slept Yuri Prohashka to end the night. That was the main event. It was an incredible night of fights. I mean, you talked a little bit about that Josh Hokett fight, Josh Hokett versus Curtis Blades. Absolute banger. I mean, I just listen, man. I'm a big fan of Josh Hokett now. He's my guy. He's got the whole shtick going on and stuff like that. I don't know how far he'll take it, but he's backing it up in the damn octagon, and that's really all that matters, man. You saw those fights, right?
Damn straight. I watched from the prelims, honestly, early prelims. We had it on, whenever it started, had those fights on before when nobody's in the arena. But you mentioned Oldberg, like Ray Jennings on one freaking leg. I just think of that video. That's exactly what I thought. Put the team on his back, just everybody on his back, and that one left hook. I was honestly just like jaw wide open. Like, there's no way that just happened. Like,
yeah, no, I was like completely taken aback by it. I was like, there's no, it's funny. I was at home watching the fights, and we had some company over. One of my girls, one of her girlfriends was over, and we were hanging out and stuff like that. And they were out on the balcony, like doing whatever, chilling. And here I was in the house watching the fights. And when I'm in the house, like, I'm like losing my mind. Like, it's just me and I'm losing my mind. I'm like, bro, nobody understands why I'm doing this. Like, they were like looking at me through the window like I was crazy, because like it was just that much nonstop action in those fights, man. Those last 3 fights were crazy. Paulo Costa had a huge win over Azamat Mirzakhanov. I mean, man, listen, Paulo Costa, he, first of all, first team all body. His body is amazing. Not gonna lie to you. He has a great physique, and he's just got so much power in his kicks. The kicks go crazy, man. I mean, the kicks to the body, absolutely just chef's kiss. Again, I'm really big on the technical side of fighting, Alex. I mean, I love the little things like that. You know what I mean? So he had a great performance. I was super excited for him as well. But yeah, that was UFC 327. Now, let's go ahead and get into some actual business here, right? This is the Purple Rain podcast for a reason, right? I mean, we talk Ravens football here. And last week, we were going to have a guest on last Monday's shows, our guy Ingraven. And our guy Ingraven, he was having a little bit of technical difficulties, as things tend to happen. Us YouTubers, we go through that a lot. It's a thing. But guess what? He's back here today. So let's go ahead and bring him up on screen here. Ingraven, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Clap it up for him. We got to.
I'm hoping that we're good tonight. Can you hear me?
Beautiful.
Sounding crispy.
Are you kidding
sir.
me?
My apologies again for last week, because that was annoying, man. It was frustrating. I was trying to turn into tech support, wasn't working. I would have got fired on the spot if that was my job. But I'm glad I'm not in tech support, because that would have been a mess, man. It was tough, man. But I appreciate y'all being patient. I appreciate y'all working with me. I appreciate y'all giving me another opportunity too. So thank you. Hopefully we can make it today.
Oh, man, it's always love, man. It's always love when Ingraven comes through, man. Let me see some team keep it clean. TKIC in the chat. Can we get a TKIC in the chat? The man, the myth, the legend is here, says Giovanni. What's going on, Giovanni? Void, giving you the salute as well. Of course, all the support, all the adoration for our guy Ingraven, man. And I'm going to keep saying it, King of Ravens YouTube. He'll try to deny it. He will try to deny it, but that's what he is. That's what he is, man. So shout out to him. It's always a great time when he comes through to the show. So, Ingraven, we haven't talked in a little while. I want to know, just to start us off here, what are your current feelings on the state of the Ravens? As we know, draft is in about a week and a half.
Right.
Let's just go here really quick. What is your wish list for the draft? Like, what do you really want to see the Ravens attack first? What do you want to see them attack often? We got a lot of draft picks. What, 11 of them, right, Alex? Something crazy like that? You know what I'm saying? 11. Yeah, so we got a whole bunch, a whole slew of them things. So, like, where do you want to see the Ravens focus on the draft?
The offensive line, first and foremost. Playmaking, wide receiver. I don't feel like we need much at wide receiver. But yeah, first and foremost, offensive line. Because I think, in my opinion, that was the Ravens' biggest issue last year. And it has been one of the Baltimore Ravens' biggest issue, really just the trenches on both sides, but offensive line first, because your most prized possession on the team is Lamar Jacskon, and you did such a terrible job of protecting him. You did a terrible job of protecting your biggest investment last season, and really for the past couple of seasons, but certainly last year. And we watched Lamar Jacskon every week for them first 3 weeks get hit, get sacked, get beat up, just it was terrible, and we could tell that he was hurt. Everybody could tell that he was hurt even before he came out of that Chiefs game. Why? Because there was such a lack of protection. And what made it even worse, it was just the stubbornness of the Baltimore Ravens to really address the offensive line, really to try something different. And they just refused to. What was crazy, I remember thinking for the first 3 weeks of the season, because we played the Bills, the Browns, and the Lions, and they were all getting after Lamar. And I remember thinking, like, what is it going to take for the Baltimore Ravens to make a change on the offensive line? What's it going to take for them to make a benching here, maybe try somebody else out at this spot? What's it going to take for them to do that? And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, if Lamar got hurt, that would be the worst thing, but that would actually make the change. It shouldn't get to that, but that would be the one thing that would make the change. Lamar ended up getting hurt. They didn't change anything. So it was just negligence from the Baltimore Ravens with taking care of their franchise quarterback. And they've been a team that said, oh, yeah, we want to build a wall around Lamar Jacskon. We want to do this and that. But the actions have been different. So that's what I just really want them to do. They have been, they brought in some guys. They brought in a Danny Penner. They brought in a Javon Gwynn. They signed who we had, John Simpson. They had him. Of course, we still got Ronnie Stanley. We still got Andrew Voorhees. We still got Roger Rosengarten. Corey Bullock, maybe he ends up being a center. We'll see. We just don't know yet. But I need them to really attack the offensive line, because it's not just for Lamar Jacskon. Lamar Jacskon, obviously, again, that's the prized possession. But you still got a Derrick Henry. That can make life easier for him. The receivers, it could give them more time to get open. It just helps out everybody a lot. So the offensive line will be the first point of business, the most important order of business, in my opinion. And then after that, it's really, I can't say a free-for-all, but Ravens just need so many different things. Again, a playmaking, wide receiver, another one. I think one that would really complement Zay Flowers the best, a guy who right now is sort of my favorite option and a realistic option. I know, Cornell Tate, Cornell Tate, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So right now, I'm looking at Chris Brazzell from Tennessee. That's somebody who I would love if the Baltimore Ravens got, and we'll see. But really trenches. Another sneaky need for the Baltimore Ravens is edge, because a lot of people are like, oh, we got Jesse Minter, so that should help our edge. It should help the pass rush, the whole defense a lot. But after Trey Hendrickson, who is it? Who else is it?
It's got to be Mike Green.
We hoping that it's him, and we expect him to be him, but nothing has been proven yet. And then we got Tavius Robinson, and he nice to set in the edge, and he's been a solid pass rusher. And then after that, it's Adisa Isaac, who is just unknown right now. We haven't even really got to see him. But we lack depth at edge. We lack so much depth there. So adding somebody of quality to that group is a necessity. Then you go from edge, you go from the exterior to the interior. And interior, I think, is even more important, but
Facts.
Pass rushes. Nnamdi Madubuike, we've been getting all the signs in the world. Oh, yeah, Nnamdi Madubuike, he should be back. He's expected to be back. He posting the workout videos and stuff. Even the strength and conditioning coach last week, he was like, oh, yeah, he looks like he's in some of the best shape of his life. And I was like, okay, cool, we like it. But we ain't heard nothing official yet. So with Nnamdi Madubuike, it's like we think he's going to come back. And if he comes back, oh, yeah, let's go. Come on, Nnamdi Madubuike, we got him back in the building. But, and that's a pretty big but, what if a couple things, if he comes back and he looks good, he's great, amazing. Let's go, Nnamdi. Let's go 92, because that 92 for interior defensive lineman for the Ravens is special. Remember Lodi Nada. But then on the flip side, if he comes back, great, but what if there's a setback? What if that neck isn't healed as much as they thought it would? Just a lot of what ifs. So because there are a lot of what ifs, that can be pretty scary, especially for us as Ravens fans, because we done been through it, especially with injuries and all that. So that needs to be addressed as well. You have a Travis Jones. Travis Jones been doing his thing. You got a John Jenkins. Now, he's not a pass rushing defensive lineman, though. You also have Broderick Washington. Don't know what the status is going to be with him. If the Ravens are going to keep him, they're going to cut him. Who knows? But you also got Aeneas Peebles. Aeneas Peebles, for whatever reason, I don't know what it was, he was in Harv's doghouse last year. What the craziest thing for me was with Aeneas Peebles is that he was somebody who's known to be a pass-rushing defensive lineman, somebody that can create some interior pressure as a defensive lineman. After week 2, we lost our top interior pass-rushing defensive lineman. We tried some stuff, didn't work. Kept trying some stuff, didn't work. So I'm thinking, this got to be Aeneas Peebles' time to shine. This is just a layup to at least try him out on the field, see what he's got. We ain't see him at all. So another reason why Harbaugh was gone and should have been gone a long time ago, but big part of the reason why they made the right choice. Poor roster management. They've been struggling with roster construction too. They go hand in hand. But a pass rushing defensive tackle, the defensive lineman. Now, we did bring in DJ Reader for a visit. I would like if they sign him. That would alleviate that, but I'm sure it's been reported that after the draft, he's expected to get signed. Another need for the Baltimore Ravens, and hey, feel free, if you need to land my plane, do it by any means, because y'all know it could go on.
Keep going.
Oh no, yeah, keep it going, man. We're letting you ISO, man.
Keep going.
But another need for the Baltimore Ravens is the number 2 tight end. And there's been a lot of conversation on the timeline about that number 2 tight end.
Sadiq, that's where the Sadiq talks get the going. I don't know how you feel about Kenyon Sadiq, but he's been kind of rumored to. I don't know if you saw the Peter Schrager article or the piece that he put out last week, where he was saying based off of what he's heard, Baltimore could very well select Kenyon Sadiq with that number 14th overall pick because of like their history of drafting and developing tight ends. What would you say to that?
If you're drafting somebody at 14 overall, in my opinion, they got to be a starter. They cannot be a backup. They cannot be, we're going to get this guy involved here and there, but he ain't going to be on it.
A project.
Project. It got to be somebody that's on the field 90% of the time. Maybe even from 90 to 100% of the time. They got to always be out there. So if you draft a Kenyon, and then if there's offensive line, I would be disappointed. Obviously, if he's a Baltimore Raven, I'm going to root for him, hope for his success. But I just would have hoped they would go in another direction, because second-string tight end, even if you use him as a receiver, if you use him a different way, second-string tight end or receiver, well, he's a tight end. Second-string tight end is not the biggest need. And I know they say, BPA. Well, you draft for BPA and need as well. Because the best player available is a quarterback. You ain't going to take no quarterback in the first round. So it's BPA and it's a mix of need too. So with Kenyon Sadiq, I just don't think it would be the wisest pick for the Baltimore Ravens, in my opinion. If you got an offensive lineman and then you jump back in the first round, or if for any reason he dropped, will he? Maybe not with the, you ran a 4.39, I think.
Oh, yeah, he got great measurables, yeah, for sure.
He ain't dropping out of the first round there. But we have seen crazier things happen, but if you go back in and get him a little bit later, maybe cool. But 14 overall, I would think they will. I would hope they would go in another direction.
But people say the same thing about guard. You know what I mean? Like people say the same thing about guard, and I'm on your side here. I don't think you can put the cart before the horse, right? I mean, you have to get the protection straightened out first before you start worrying about any skill players, which is why this next segment that I want to talk about is very, very interesting to me, and I want to see you guys' take on it. But Alex, did you have something for me?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think last episode we talked about it. Tight end at 14 for me is a luxury pick. I said that's a pick right there for the Rams to make at 13. That's a pick where to me right now, where are the Rams' weaknesses? They're a damn good football team, so they can maybe throw a tight end right there. I pulled this up. Let's just talk about some names here. Ed Dixon, Mark Andrews, Dennis Pitta, Charlie Kolar, Isaiah Likely. Round 3 and round 4. With all due respect, I do not want to stick in a tight end anywhere close to the first round. It to me is not the smart pick. We know we have bigger needs. Ingraven just went a great just tangent about it. O-line, D-line, edge. I mean, there's bigger needs. Like, did the tight end position lose us games last year? I don't think so. I really don't.
That's a good way to put it.
I think you can, yeah. The O-line lost us tons of games. So please not take a
Facts.
tight end at 14. Many other positions to go. Though I already can feel my blood boiling over us taking a tight end at 14. I will be on that. You can clip it.
Oh
I would
man.
be raging, absolutely raging.
We've definitely had some reactions over the years, like during our draft streams. Like I remember when when Hollywood got traded that one year, and then when we drafted Bateman and all the other ones too. I mean, we've had some really good reactionary moments. So, by the way, we will be live next Thursday night covering the draft with our guy Jason from @Huddle It Up Films. So make sure you tune into the channel for that as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's normally a long stream on draft night, so be prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? But it should be a whole bunch of fun. Real quick, before we move on here, I want to shout out a couple of super chat donations and a new subscriber in the house. We got Pick Six Flipper dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Appreciate you, brother. We also have Mad Rasta dropping the 5-piece in the chat, making it rain here. Mad Rasta says the new episode of the Athletic Football Show highlights the Ravens drafting failures, how EDC is only responsible for 1 or 2 of the stars on the team. Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing this a lot lately about how the Ravens tend to miss on these day 3 picks that they covet so highly. You know what I mean? Like we have I keep forgetting the number. How many 5th round picks is it that we have? 4, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah, like plenty. 4. Exactly. We got plenty of 5th round picks that are basically to me like scratch offs, like lottery tickets. You know what I mean? Like you're buying a whole bunch of them, like these cheap scratch offs, hoping that you're gonna hit big off one of them. That's just not how it works. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've never really been a big fan of EDC's kind of like gambling strategy. I want to see, my guy Coach Evan said this, I want to see us package some of those picks and get back into the 3rd round, get back into round 2. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's reel it in. You know what I mean? So I totally agree here, Mad Rasta. Like EDC, you got to give up those late round picks, man, because they're just not coming through. At least not the way that you think that they're coming through. But shout out to you, Mad Rasta, for the super chat donation. Also, we got a new subscriber, Joseph Williams, in the chat. What's going on, Joseph? Appreciate you for subbing. Thank you for joining the Rain Gang. Over 217 people watching live right now. Thank y'all so much for coming through to this episode 398 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We're with our guy Ingraven Vids, who is in the house with us today. Appreciate you again for coming through, brother. Let's go ahead and let's get into some rumors, like the rumor mill, right? It got to heating up a little bit earlier today, and I want to bring something up to us here. So as you guys can see on screen, a blockbuster trade proposal has the Ravens acquiring George Pickens, and it's been kind of like the rumor mill today that like, could this possibly happen on draft night? I was telling Alex before we went live, crazier things have happened. We've seen crazier things happen on draft night. Like again, like the Hollywood trade, even though he wanted to be traded, that was still a move that they ended up making on draft night. Of course, as early as or as recent as this offseason when it started, them seemingly wanting to take more big swings as an organization, firing John Harbaugh, hiring Jesse Minter, right? Going out and trying to acquire Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson at the same time. I mean, it looks like they're moving a little different this year. That's all I'm saying. And if it's, I think that we could see potentially Eric DeCosta maybe give away that 14th overall pick and going after George Pickens. Real quick, Cena Fru, new subscriber in the chat. What's going on? Appreciate you for joining the Rain Gang. But let me read through a little bit of this article here that's on the Ravens' actual website, and then I want to get you guys' takes on this. And Graven, we'll start with you, then we'll go to Alex and around the horn there. But it says, blockbuster trade proposal has Ravens acquiring George Pickens for a first-round pick. It says the Ravens need to bolster their receiving core, both at wide receiver and tight end. They're likely to do so in the draft, but they also could make veteran additions via free agency or trade. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox came up with 2 potential trades the Ravens could make for pass catchers, one of which would be a blockbuster. The splashy proposal has the Ravens acquiring all-pro wide receiver George Pickens from the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for their first-round pick, number 14th overall. Baltimore could use a legitimate number 1 wide receiver, and Pickens would certainly fill that need. He may also relish a chance to go up against the Pittsburgh Steelers that got him up out of there a year ago. The Ravens have a number 1 receiver in Zay Flowers, who's coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and Pro Bowl nods, but Pickens has a different skill set. And this is where it gets interesting because these are the facts here. Flowers is quick and shifty, while Pickens is a 6'3" contested catch monster. The Cowboys applied the franchise tag to Pickens this offseason. Owner Jerry Jones, he said he wants to keep him in Dallas long term. However, Knox believes the Cowboys might be open to a trade. Given Pickens' age and proven production, teams are likely going to inquire about him just before or during the draft. And the Cowboys, who are already paying CeeDee Lamb about $34 million a year, they might just listen to some of these trade offers for George Pickens. Replacing Pickens with a receiver like Kevin Concepcion in the draft or Omar Cooper Jr. on a rookie contract would make plenty of financial sense. The question is whether trading for Pickens would make financial sense for the Ravens. And here's another thing where the facts start to come into play. Flowers, 25, is eligible for a contract extension for the first time this offseason. And he's in line for a big payday, too. A team acquiring George Pickens would have to sign him to a contract extension, and he's also going to be mad expensive. That's a fact. I'll stop reading it there because you kind of get the gist. Like, there's been like rumors like this could potentially have some legs to it. Again, we've seen the Ravens take big swings this offseason. We know the Cowboys are always down for a big blockbuster trade. You know, Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones. Ingraven, I want to toss it to you first here. Would you like, love, or hate pursuing George Pickens if it meant we had to give up the first round pick this year?
I would like it. I would like it a lot because he would compliment Zay Flowers so much. Now, I wonder if we could make some adjustments to the trade because our first round pick, 14th overall, I think that would be easy for the Cowboys to say, oh, yeah, we'll take that. And then they could replace him. Or I wonder if we could slide Bain in there. And my apologies, Sutton, because I know you're not a Zay Flowers guy. I know you're a big Bateman guy. And
Come on, man. Don't do me like that, Ingraven. Come on, bro.
But they wanted Rashad last year. They tried for Rashad last year, but Ravens shut it down. And so I wonder if they could slide Bain and then maybe drop a second-round pick or a third and a fourth and a fifth. Something else besides that first-round pick. I wonder if they could make an adjustment to the trade. But George Pickens on the Ravens, that would be amazing. That would be great. But the thing that I wonder about that is because he would give us so much stuff that we want in a wide receiver. Like, again, 6'3", go up and get it, contested catch king. He would do all that stuff. And, again, he was productive. Now, the one thing that he has going against him, well, a couple of things he got going against him, especially with us being the Baltimore Ravens, he's 25. That's kind of young for Ravens to be going after a wide receiver because they don't like him that young. They like them when they're a whole lot older. So that's one thing. But even more importantly and more seriously is with the contract. Because they're trying to pay Zay Flowers. They want to pay Zay Flowers. But George Pickens, he wouldn't want to come over here and be on no little one-year deal. He trying to get paid too. So I would assume from the Baltimore Ravens standpoint, because they ain't paying two receivers. They actually ain't even paying one right now. Rashad Bateman's on his third contract, but he's super cheap. But with acquiring a George Pickens, I would assume if they were to give up a first-round pick to bring in George Pickens, then I would assume that he would be the guy that they would end up paying. And I wonder if they would be able to even keep both George Pickens and Zay Flowers at the same time. Because if I'm Zay Flowers, you gave up a first for him? I'm a former first-round draft pick. Ain't y'all say y'all trying to pay? You gave up a first for him? Get me out of here. Because y'all ain't trying to pay me. Trade me. Let me go. Hey, get me out of Baltimore ASAP. That's what I would think.
That be would George Pickens be an upgrade over Zay Flowers at the wide receiver one spot?
Yeah.
In your opinion? Yeah? Okay.
I think so because he is less, not limited. There are less limits with George Pickens. I can't call him limited, but there are less limits. Like, basically the height. Because with Zay Flowers, he can do everything except the contested catches. Now, George Pickens is not nearly as shifty as a Zay Flowers, but Lamar, he dropped back, maybe pressure in his face. He see his receiver one-on-one with the cornerback all over him. With Zay Flowers, he could try to throw it up to him, but it's going to be a much better chance if that same situation happens and he has George Pickens in that situation.
Yeah. That's why Likely was so good.
Man.
Don't think it's hard, man.
I know, bro. I know. Yeah. But no, that's a good point. It's a good point because where I think, and people always say I hate, but like where I think Zay Flowers is the most limited, love him as a receiver, but where I think where he's the most limited is in the red zone. Right, we're not utilizing Zay Flowers as a legitimate red zone threat. You never see the Ravens draw up something for Zay Flowers to get vertical when they're, in between, in the red zone to get in the end zone for a score. It's always we're giving him the ball we're throwing it to him on a wide receiver screen or something like that, some sort of gadget type of play. And it's like, I don't know how this new regime with Declan Doyle and them are going to utilize Zay Flowers, but if it was anything like what we saw with Todd Monken, I do think it would be in the Ravens' best interest to go out and pursue, a bona fide, I think, 3-level wide receiver like a George Pickens. Maybe it doesn't look like a George Pickens. You mentioned Chris Brazzell. There's some other guys in the draft that could potentially be suitable candidates as well. But Alex, I want to toss it to you now. I mean, would you love it or hate it if George Pickens was acquired by the Ravens for that 14th overall pick?
How could you not like it? I think from what me and you come in here every week and throughout the offseason have been clamoring for, the analyzing of the receivers this year in the draft. Mm-hmm. George Pickens is all of that. I know I see in the chat he's a head case. Yeah. He's a bit, the villain. If I'm a Ravens fan, I'm embracing the whole villain thing. They hate us already. Every team hates us for this whole Max Crosby stuff. Give it all to me. Give it all. Let me just be the villain. Let me get the bad guy on the team. Let me get the bully on the team. If I'll take it back to 2022. Made a video of George Pickens. Lamar Jacskon quote tweeted it. Said, "Oh yeah, bring that guy to Baltimore." Already has a stamp from the quarterback. I know Lamar would love it. He would have.
I forgot about that.
And if you could somehow have him and Zay together, I'd be all for it. Don't want to get my hopes up too much because I know it's not going to happen. But if it were to happen, it'd be perfect. I'm looking at the guys on defense, a certain linebacker making a lot of money. His contract comes up soon. You can find ways. I know you're laughing at Graham. You can find ways to make this happen. That's what guys like Howie Roseman do. They're paying A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith together. And then their quarterback's getting paid too. Well, so best GMs find a way. Find a way.
We said it.
Yeah. I like it. I would love bringing into George Pickens, especially because, you get the whole him versus Pittsburgh thing if he were to come back and, join the Ravens. And I think that in terms of the character concerns that a lot of people have, I don't think that some of these guys like a George Pickens or maybe like an A.J. Brown, if they were to come to the Ravens and play with Lamar, I feel like they would be on a level with Lamar to where they would be more bought in, as opposed to playing with a Dak Prescott or a Jalen Hurts, respectively. You know what I mean? Lamar is he's just different. You know what I'm saying? I think he invites that type of energy, and George Pickens would feed off Lamar. Lamar would feed off George Pickens. I think that would be an absolutely beautiful connection. Now, you mentioned Ingraven kind of altering the trade a little bit. Let's package Bateman with, what did you say, a second or a third or something?
Mm-hmm. You can send both if we need to, but yeah.
And I wouldn't be mad at that. As much of a Bateman truther and supporter, I am. I still think that he would be a huge upgrade. George Pickens would be a huge upgrade over Rashad Bateman. So parting ways with him, and then also giving up a second-round pick, and you get Lamar Jacskon, a bona fide wide receiver one. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, I would not hate that at all. Nike's 44. Appreciate the sub. Welcome. We also had another super chat donation that I missed. I just wanted to pull it up real quick. Mad Ross, thank you so much, brother. Says, y'all talked about Adisa Isaac yet? Ravens broke. No, we haven't really talked about him yet. We'll talk about Edge in a little bit here, but go ahead. Ingraven, I think you had something for me.
I have a question. Oh, real quick.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah.
How does your receiver have a 9 touchdown sound? You mentioned Zay not being the red zone target. Would you like that? The guy can throw the ball
9
up,
touchdowns?
Down. 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, for sure.
Across JD Lamb as well.
You know what I want? I want a fade ball guy. Can I get a fade ball guy? You know what I'm saying? Give me a guy who literally on 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line, right? He can run a fade route to the back corner of the end zone. Lamar Jacskon can toss it up to him, and he goes up and makes a basketball play. Can we finally get somebody like that on the Ravens? Because I think that's what benefits Lamar Jacskon the most. I mean, Lamar Jacskon, if you ask him, and I think with Lamar and what receivers he connects with, I think his actions speak a little bit louder than his words. Because with words, he loves, bring me Hollywood Brown. Zay Flowers, yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? These shorter, smaller, more compact receivers. And no slight to them. But when Lamar Jackson's actually on the field, he responds better with his style of play on a more consistent basis to those bigger body wide receivers and pass catchers in general. That's why Mark Andrews was his security blanket for the first half of his career up to this point. And then when Isaiah Likely got drafted, like we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Ingraven, he was the exact same way. A big body when Lamar Jacskon was in trouble, he can just toss it up to him. He can trust him to do that. Lamar Jacskon would never just toss it up. You remember that the Jacksonville Jaguars game a couple seasons ago? He breaks that sack and goes downfield to Likely. It wasn't a touchdown, but it was a really big play for a first down. He would never throw that up to a Hollywood Brown like that in that type of situation. He would never throw that up to a Zay Flowers like that in that type of situation. There's just certain guys who he responds to, and George Pickens would be that kind of guy. And I think that it's time for the Ravens to, not only be as intentional as possible with addressing the offensive line, and I feel like there's a couple more ways that they can do that, but I think it's also time to get him a receiver who, like I said, can threaten at all three levels. I just don't think Zay Flowers does that in the red zone, and that's my biggest issue. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but go ahead.
No, you're good. I think with just to address a couple of things that I've seen in the comment section. My guy Jabari, he said, "Hey, that Zay Flowers." He said if Lamar was healthy last year, then Zay Flowers would have certainly got that 1,500 yards. And I agree with you. I think there's no doubt in my mind that Zay Flowers would have certainly produced even more if Lamar Jacskon was healthy throughout the whole season. But that goes to our previous conversation about that's why the offensive line and fixing that is so important. But also that does show you that with Zay Flowers, like that's pretty good, and that's something. That I forget about a lot. That Lamar Jacskon, he did miss a good amount of time, but Zay Flowers, he didn't. So, and he produced. And he had Tyler Huntley, he had Cooper Rush. Obviously, his bigger games came from a Lamar Jacskon, but Zay Flowers was out there all season, and he put up good numbers even without the best quarterback playing. So shout out to Zay Flowers for that. But somebody else mentioned how because I talked about the jump ball with Lamar Jacskon, with him throwing a jump ball, and somebody said, "Oh, Lamar Jacskon doesn't throw the jump ball." Well, if you recall last year, Mr. DeAndre Hopkins, and there was a couple times where he did it, where Lamar Jacskon he dropped back to pass, and DeAndre Hopkins would be somebody one-on, especially in that Browns game, in the first Browns game for sure. DeAndre Hopkins one-on-one with the cornerback, and Lamar he got to buy some time. Then he just threw it up. And guess what? DeAndre Hopkins came down with it. That's why so many of us were so frustrated with the lack of usage from DeAndre Hopkins, because he still showed, he can go up and get it. He can still make them contested catches. And DeAndre Hopkins even showed frustration with his own lack of usage when he was getting on Twitter about it about a month ago.
Called us out.
Yeah, he did. Rightfully so. So he doesn't throw the jump ball because, one, he doesn't normally have jump ball receivers, but Sutton was just bringing it out too with Isaiah Likely. He's throwing 1 million jump balls to Isaiah Likely. Remember the infamous Texans game where Isaiah Likely literally told him, he said, "Hey, Lamar, put it up higher next time, and I got you." And the very next drive, Lamar Jacskon scrambled around, put it up. Isaiah Likely went to jump for the ball and get it. He threw a jump ball. So the jump balls are there. Whoa, wait a minute. That ain't sound the best. But you get what I'm saying. It's there. Lamar throws it. So having a receiver that could do that opens up the field that much more. And like Nike said, he said, if you can get a George Pickens, you get him. So simple as that.
Yeah. No, 100% agree. Alex, you look like you got something on your mind there.
I'm thinking that jump ball was over Derek Stingley too, I want to say. I think he was in the area, I believe, which makes it even more impressive.
Were y'all talking about the one in the playoffs the other year? Is that the one you're talking about?
It was against the Texans. Oh, was it the Texans? Yeah, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Texans. Maybe it was the December 25th. No, not the December 25th game. What was that game where Isaiah Likely, he told him? He had,
I think divisional.
Oh, no, it was the Texans. It was the playoff game.
Yeah. Okay.
You're right.
I remember now.
Right.
Yeah.
That was it.
Let me see here. We got another super chat donation from Monty. Shout out to you, Monty. Appreciate you for making it rain here on this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Says, give us George Pickens and they can take Andrew Voorhees. Yeah, if only it was that simple. If only it was that simple, Lord, man. I mean, again, in closing on the whole George Pickens thing, I would absolutely love it. Again, you get Lamar Jackson, receiver one, if you can find a way to retain Zay Flowers and keep George Pickens too. And listen, I'll just say this. I told Alex before we went live, the way is right in front of our faces, right? You go over to the defensive side of the football, right? And you rework some of those contracts over there. And then we get back to business. We're cooking again. And those guys I'm talking about, Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, please step into my office. If I'm EDC, please step into my office. Look, we got to talk about this, dog. We got to talk about this contract. We got to get this cap number a lot lower than where it's at right now because this ain't working for us. Alex just went on a whole tangent on it before we went live about Roquan Smith and stuff like that. But I want to ask you, what are your feelings on the defense here before we move on? Like, how much confidence do you have in the defense going into this upcoming season, Ingraven?
A lot of confidence because of Jesse Minter alone. We saw glimpses and we saw potential here and there from this defense over the past 2 seasons. Both of these past 2 years, they started off really, really bad. They started off historically bad the past 2 seasons, but then there were times where they started to really get their act together. But then toward the end of the season, they just went back to normal. So that was under Zach Orr. That was under defensive coordinator who didn't have any experience prior to. A defensive coordinator who a lot of times he struggled to adjust. And with Zach Orr, I just think he might have been given the keys maybe a little bit too early. A little bit. He's going to get an opportunity again, though. He'll be able to be a defensive coordinator again in the future. And we'll see what he does over there with, because I think he's with the Seahawks now with Mike McDonald in there. But Jesse Minter, with what we saw him do over there with the Chargers, my guy Jason from Huddled Up Films, he brought up a really, really good point. He said even like with, and of course it ain't no disrespect at all, but he said even with Tony Jefferson, at the point of his career, like he was literally about to retire like what, 4 years ago? So, no, he did retire. Then he unretired. So he came back in the game. Yeah. He was a scout for the Ravens and stuff, and then he started working his way up, and then he said, you know what, hold up. I want to play again. So he played again. Chargers gave him an opportunity, and Jesse Minter had this man balling. So Jesse, and obviously the biggest example that we can all relate to even more than that is our former first-round draft pick, Odafe Wade. Jesse Minter ain't even have an off-season with him. He literally got this man in the middle of the season, and then he got 7-8 sacks in the regular, then 3 sacks in that playoff game. So he had Odafe Wade balling. He turned Odafe Wade into, oh my goodness, I don't know if Ravens going to re-sign him or not, into a $100 million man making $25 million per year. Jesse Minter did that. Our head coach did that. So seeing how he transformed that Chargers defense like that, and there was consistency too, because he was there for 2 years. So we got to see patterns. So that's a beautiful thing, because there could be some flash in the pan. There could be one-hit wonders, and it happens. And sometimes those one-hit wonders go on to get bigger opportunities, and they succeed. Sometimes one-hit wonders, they get bigger opportunities, and it don't succeed. But he's not a one-hit wonder. He gave consistency. So for him to bring that to the Baltimore Ravens, for me, it gives me a whole lot of confidence in this defense, especially because on every level of the defense, we have the names on the back of their jersey that have made a lot of plays throughout their NFL careers thus far. But recently, with a lot of those names, they haven't been living up to the name, and it's been pretty rough. But I chalk that up to the scheme, because the scheme, we saw a lot of people go downhill in the schemes that we had recently. So with Jesse Minter, I'm expecting him to literally have turnarounds for these guys. And one of the craziest parts about this whole thing with us acquiring Jesse Minter, one of the players that I think, and it's insane, like to really just to sit back and think about it, because I didn't really think about it till just now. He's been in Zach Orr's scheme these past 2 years, and he's been balling in Zach Orr's scheme these past 2 years, and that scheme hasn't been good to many defenders. It's Kyle Hamilton. He's been doing so good in this scheme, in this system, and the system is not a good system. So imagine with how good he has been in Zach Orr's system, imagine how great he can be in Jesse Minter's. So it's something to be super, super excited about. Our defense has been holding back this team a lot over these past 2 seasons. Even you think about how the season ended last year. Last year we played the Steelers, and Lamar broke out. Was the beginning of the game was a touchdown. Who was it? Zay Flowers or Tez Walker? I forget.
Tez, I think it was Tez, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, Zay Flowers ended up getting the 2 touchdowns. Tez got his one, and we was doing our thing. But then the defense, they said, "Oh, Lamar offense, y'all got a touchdown. Let's give the Steelers a touchdown. There you go, Pittsburgh. Have at it." So then it's like, all right. Then it comes down to it. Hey, Well, oh, man, I hate that. That was it was such a sad game. I'm just thinking about the Isaiah Likely, the whole fourth down catch, and then the missed field
Yeah.
goal from Tyler Loop. But man, it shouldn't have come down to that though, because the defense should have held, but they didn't. So Jesse Minter, again, to answer your question, even though we answered it in like a 30-minute answer, a 30-minute version, sorry to make a short story long, but I have a whole lot of confidence in this defense because Jesse Minter showed us that he can turn individual players around. He showed us that he knows how to put players in the best positions to have success, and he actually pays attention to his personnel. So I think we'll be in good shape.
Hey, Alex, it's like that Drewski meme, like, I changed this broke dude's life. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jesse Minter. That's what Jesse Minter did for Dafe Owe and a couple of dudes.
Dude, he was just getting memed here. You know, he had no sacks in 5 or 6 games. Goes there, $100 million. It's crazy, like what a couple of months can do with the right coach, with the right scheme. I mean, good for him. And I think that's why we're just so. I have so much promise for a guy like Mike Green because we saw what it could do with Owe, who had no sacks his final year. You know, and now we have Mike Green who had 17 and a half his senior year. It's just, and I mean that's why we're getting linked with guys. You know, a Reuben Bain, if he might fall. Now we'll get into everything that came out over the weekend, and other edge rushers we're getting mocked with. So how can't you be? And you bring up Kyle Hamilton too. Like that Steeler game when he went out, the defense just turned into like a JV defense. They really couldn't stop him running nose. It was every third down they were converting it. I was at the point, I think, that final drive, I'm like, just let them score. You guys can't hold them. I trust Lamar, I trust the offense to go do what they can do, and they did it. Didn't turn out that way, but wow, man. I mean, Hamilton going down. I want to rewatch that, how bad the defense got. Like, that concussion, just, it showed our true colors as a defense last year.
The thing about Lamar Jackson is that, like, a lot of times, even when the defense isn't performing up to the standard, right? Sometimes Lamar Jackson's performance is the defense. It's like he is the offense, he's the defense. You know, he's kind of keeping teams at bay with these electric plays and stuff like that. But, you know, that can only happen but so much if, like we mentioned at the top of the show, the offensive line isn't protecting him. And a lot of times I felt like we were kind of looking at Lamar Jackson to kind of save us. You know what I mean? I mean, specifically, one that I remember was that Chiefs game earlier in the season and the Lions game as well. It's like, hey, Lamar, please save us, you know? But it's like he can only do it so much if he's under constant duress, you know? And what you mentioned about the defense, another thing for me, well, first of all, I have Commanders fans, friends who've been asking me like, oh, we got a Dafe Owe, we paid him a bunch of money. What do you think about him? You think he's going to be really good for us? And I'm like, I don't know what you're going to get, to be honest with you. I don't know what you're going to get because when he was with us, he didn't really do a whole lot, but he was with Mentor and he turned up, you know, instantly. So like Alex said, I mean, scheme dependent, you know, we'll see what they got going on over there, but overall, I do have a lot of faith in the defense. Real quick before we move on here, super chat donation from Duke Shaka. Appreciate you so much, Duke. Says bring in Clowney plus DJ Reader plus D-Hop after the draft and go O-line and tight end plus Brazzle, then BPA. Oh, you got it all figured out. Okay. Shout out to all three of y'all boys. Shout out to you, Duke. Appreciate you making it rain here on this episode 398 of the Purple Rain podcast. Yeah, no, I mean, you mentioned DJ Reader earlier. Ingraven. I was a big proponent of bringing him in, especially after he visited. I was like, you know what? It's a really, really good 2-gapping nose tackle who can stop the run. I think he would fit really well in the scheme, and he's not that old yet. So it's just like I think we could have gotten something out of him. D-Hop, another guy I would have loved to bring back. D-Hop was one of those guys. Again, like Ingraven said earlier, you can trust him. Third down, I mean, you're talking about out routes, things like that, timing routes. Who else have you really seen Lamar Jackson trust on like just timing routes? 3-step drop, get the ball out. D-Hop's really the only one. I mean, Mark Andrews sometimes if he's going over the middle, things like that, and if the play's drawn up for him. But you talk about like receivers playing in structure. D-Hop's really one of the only ones I've seen really do it with Lamar. Lamar with everybody else is like he's gonna buy time, find somebody downfield, you know. But and then Clowney had one of his best years with the Ravens. And he was even saying, hey, look, I'd love to go back and play with the Ravens, you know. So I wouldn't be mad at that either. In terms of all the draft stuff. Man, the draft is just such a crapshoot, man. We don't know what's going to happen as of yet. But it's only a week and a half away, so we're going to have to get to it eventually. Alex, I think we still got to do our mock draft. Right?
We do, and you brought up Clowney. I think it was 5 or 5.5 of his sacks came in the fourth quarter that year. Come on now. We talked about that. A closer.
A closer.
I'm all for it. All for it, man. And you can draft somebody too. I feel a lot
Yeah.
better about this edge rush room.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Shout out to everybody watching in the live chat right now. Over 300 people watching live on this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Shout out to y'all. Again, my name is Sutton Def. On my far right over here is going to be my guy Simply AS10, and we're joined today by a very special guest, Ingraven Videos, none other than Mr. Team Keep It Clean himself. But let's go ahead and move on, guys, here. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Alex, can we get a like count real quick? Can we get a like count? See where we're at with that? A little like count real quick. Make sure you like the video, y'all. Like the video.
50.
Come on. Can we get over
50.
Please, please, please. Come
We
on.
are.
Come on. Something.
50.
All right. There we go. There we go. Let's keep them going. Let's keep it going up. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and leave a like on the video. Let's keep rolling here, though. Let's keep rolling. So, next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, this is something that's it's a this week thing, right? The Ravens are dropping new uniforms. It is official. They announced it last week. So this Thursday, and actually, Alex, you're going to be at the event. That's right. You're going to be at the event.
I'm
He's going.
going.
That's going to be absolute cinema when they reveal those jerseys. Here's a video of the Ravens players earlier reacting to their first view of the new jerseys. Next flight.
Woo! See what we got cutting up back here.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. They all look good. They all look good. Dang.
Very nice.
Okay. Oh my God, that's clean. Wow.
Those are fire. These ones nice. Those are crazy.
Yeah, that's sick.
Them cold right now.
I ain't even see them.
That's crazy. These are nice.
I don't want to rush time, but and I can't rush time, but I'm looking forward to one of these.
All right, next flight, 4/16/26. We are 3 days out from these new Ravens jerseys. And real quick, let me just say, I love how, we are really rolling into a brand new era of Ravens in like every facet. You know what I'm saying? Like new coaching staff. We even got new uniforms. We are completely leaving out, putting basically the last 8 years behind us. I love that for the Ravens. I've told Alex, like, this is act 2 for Lamar Jackson's career. It's a totally fresh start, clean slate. We don't have the same scar tissue buildup and baggage over the last couple of years with John Harbaugh. So I love the fact that we're getting these new uniforms when we are. Now you guys just watched the Ravens players. You can take it for what it's worth or whatever. They reacted to it. They seem to be really excited about it, which tells me that this isn't just like a new alternate or something like that. Like these are going to be our new primary jerseys, home and away, which I'm super duper excited about. Ingraven, do you have like any like sort of wish list? I know you've been a Ravens fan for a long time. Do you have any wish list on how the Ravens can make these jerseys better? Like what would you want to see on these jerseys specifically?
Don't make them ugly. That's it. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. Even some of the reactions, I think they told some of them to do retakes because some of them look like they were really trying to push through and be, oh yeah, they look so nice. Oh, they're fine. It looked like some of them ain't even like them, but that's just my opinion. But I'm nervous because with Ravens jerseys, they ain't been changing the jerseys too often. They had a few little minor changes here and there. Of course, they added the black jerseys years ago. Then they added the purple rising helmets last season, but they haven't done too many changes. So this is going to be the biggest change that they've made. So I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. I don't know, because and what's tricky about it for me is that, hey, if it's ugly, we can't do nothing. It ain't like anything could change. Those going to be our jerseys, but if they look good, and hopefully they look good, either way, we'll get used to them. So it ain't no big deal, but I'm hoping they look nice, and I'm sure they probably will.
Yeah, and see what we're looking at here on screen is like a mock-up that came out today. Somebody posted. I can't remember who exactly it was. Corey Hunt, it says, posted this. I don't know if he actually made it. But anyways, this, and I love looking at mock-ups. You can say what you want about it. Oh, something it's not real, whatever. But I think that these would be like, this design right here would probably be the most realistic. And it would be super duper cool. The thing I love about it the most, I don't know if you guys can see, you got to look close, but they have like the feathers, right, from the wings, like on like the shoulder pads, like coming off the shoulder pads like that. That looks incredible to me. I love that concept. Like you see the black one in the middle has it. They also mentioned in terms of like rumors that have come out, like there's going to be iridescent accents, which I think would go crazy, especially in prime time. You know, you have like gold lettering or something like that. I've also been seeing people say that we might get some block lettering. So instead of what you see right here, it would be like more blocky. I can't remember like who else has like the blocky lettering. Maybe like a Arizona or one of those teams with like the more blockier lettering style. But Alex, I mean, what do you think about these mock-ups here? I don't know if you've seen these yet, but I love these. I'm rating these a 10 out of 10 personally.
I like the iridescent on the black. It reminds me Maryland wore some uniforms against Oregon a couple years ago, and they kind of had that same type of number, and they're really nice. I mean, the home and the away kind of look like what we have outside of the feathers. It's not too much a change. I'm holding on to the hope it has like the number design just like the throwbacks had, like the 96, 97, 98, 99, those uniforms. Right now, I think that's too much of a revamp. It's a small upgrade. I'm looking for a little bit more though. I feel like it's going to be more. And speaking of, Tavius Robinson bleeped it out. He said, "Oh, the helmet." So we're getting new helmets too. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't realize that. No.
Yeah,
So
he
that's what he said. Oh,
definitely said helmet. So we're definitely getting helmet.
See, and that's another thing. The helmet is like I'm kind of scared to see what logo they're going to put on the helmet because they announced the Purple Rising ones last year or something like that, and that had the old school front facing Raven logo on it. I don't know if they'll do that again and make it like darker, more iridescent for these new helmets, but I've always said, and I know they're not going to do this, I would love to see the Baltimore B on the side of the helmet again. I would love that. And Graven, you're kind of turning your face up to. You don't like that idea?
I like the Raven better than the B. That's just me though. Either one is true, but I like the Raven way better than the actual B. The B with the wings. Yeah.
Does it have wings on it? I don't even know.
Oh, the other B, just the regular B.
Yeah. No,
I like the Raven better.
See, I've never been a fan. I've never been a huge fan, really. I mean, I've said this multiple times here on my show, but I've never been a huge fan of the Ravens uniforms to begin with. So I do kind of side with Alex on this one. Like, I want them to like kind of push the envelope a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see something totally different that just kind of sets us off into something, this new era properly. That's me. Let me see what the chat is saying in here. Let me see.
They said the black is tough.
Oh yeah, the black is man, that black is crazy.
Give me some more gold too in it. I'm not saying gold pants again. I'm not saying gold pants.
Do y'all remember that concept that I don't know who came up with it? It was like maybe 3 years ago, where it was all white jerseys and it had like the gold trim. And the gold, I forgot who came up with it, but I wish those were real because those were perfect. They look so nice, man.
Did they have any purple in them? You said they're just white and gold?
I think they had a little bit of purple in them. Not too much, but it was mostly white and gold. I got to see if I can find it because those were nice.
Was it this one, Ink?
That looks familiar. Ingraven. You see that one?
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, that looks like... Yeah, I would like that too.
The photo something through Twitter, so you can
cool. Sounds good. Yeah, no, like that one does look pretty hard. I'm thinking like where does the purple kind of go in? I have to see it on a bigger screen though. But yeah,
I just sent it.
All right, cool. Let me bring that up.
Like a white out. That during a night game would be sick.
Yeah.
Let's see this. What do we got here? Ooh, that's crazy right there. No, yeah, that would go. That's too hard. They would never do that. That's too hard. You can't go that crazy on a jersey. Like, bro.
I wish, man.
Can you imagine?
That's nice.
Let me just ask the designers,
like he usually does.
Bro,
yes.
What is stopping y'all from making this design right here? Like, just tell me. Like, you cannot say that this is ugly. You just can't. Like, that would be one of the best jerseys in the league. I still think the Chargers have the best uniforms in the league as it stands right now. Maybe I just like their colors. I don't know, but theirs are really hard. But this is a crazy concept, and I wish the Ravens, maybe their away jerseys. You never know. They could have the white and gold base, and then purple accents here and there. I think that would go crazy too. That would go absolutely nuts. But
I'm
yeah,
gonna back you on the Charger because you can do so much with theirs. You can mix and match, and you have so many different combinations. They can wear the white on navy, white on yellow, white on powder blue. I kind of went the same. Give me all these different uniforms. I remember even the purple pants coming out was like, for me that just identifies with like the Lamar era. We started wearing them in 2018, and the white and the purple, and how the black jersey, purple pants. Give me some more mix and matching. I love that.
Look,
Yeah.
I know people gonna hate me for it, but it's true, man. Some real nice jerseys, very very nice. It's Bengals.
Bengals.
Bengals jerseys are fly. Especially that all white.
Yeah.
Oh, the all
white?
white. No,
Wait,
yeah,
that's
that one is
insane.
nice.
Yeah.
That one is
Insane.
nice. I love those. I'm not
They
gonna
got
lie
the
to you.
look- it's them things nice, man. And then the black on black and the black on orange, they nice. Their jerseys on point, man.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about them.
Because
Bengals have some underrated
when they
ones. Yeah, go ahead.
when they wear the all white, all the fans in the stadium, the whiteout games.
Oh yeah.
We have our Darkness Falls. We could definitely do that too, like a whiteout.
Everybody wear black.
That would be crazy. That would be insane. I'm just thinking of how, like, again, guys, if they do this whole iridescent accent thing, like, again, if you watch a game on prime time under the lights, how the light is going to be dancing off of that those iridescent accents is going to look beautiful, man. I just know, I know Nike's going to do a good job with these. I know they are. Like, I'm still scared. Yeah, I'm about to say I'm still scared, but I have faith. I have faith in Nike. These are the same people who do the jerseys for Oregon every year, and they're absolutely fire. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Okay. But yeah, we gotta see. We gotta see. Still 2 more days, man. I was hoping. I woke up. I was so mad this morning when I saw that video of all the players reacting to it. I was like, please, just drop like a teaser trailer or something, bro. Like, just give me something. Like, y'all not even gonna give me a little sneak peek. So you're going to give it to us all on Thursday? Okay, cool, fine, whatever. That's why we got our guy Alex, who's going to be there in attendance, and he's going to have his ear to the streets, and he's going to let us know and report back his findings. So I can't wait for that. I'll be definitely listening out for what the word is, Alex. Real quick, we do have a new sub, Mr. Official 410. Appreciate you, brother, for subbing. Thank you for joining the Rain Gang family. All right. Let's go ahead and move along here, guys. We only got a couple more things to get into. Alex, you brought up you mentioned Reuben Bain earlier, right?
I did.
You mentioned Reuben Bain, and like there's been a lot of talk about him potentially maybe falling in the draft this year, and Ravens fans have been all over it. Of course, defensive end is kind of I don't want to say it's not a super glaring position of need because we do have Trey Hendrickson now. I know a lot of us have faith in year 2 Mike Green, and Tavius Robinson is still more than serviceable. So maybe the Ravens don't need an end with pick number 14 overall. But a story came out over the weekend, and it's weird that it came out at this time. But it says Miami DN Reuben Bain was cited for careless driving following a March 2024 car crash that left the passenger in a coma and later resulted in the 22-year-old's death 3 months after the incident. The careless driving charge was dismissed by a court about 2 weeks before the death, and no criminal liability has been found in connection with the crash. The situation has been discussed in NFL circles in recent weeks, and teams are aware of it and have looked into it. So, you couple this story here with the fact that, he's got short arms, and will that translate to the next level? I could see a world where Reuben Bain falls to pick number 14, and he's available for the Ravens right there. I mean, you know what the Ravens, how they go with best player available. You're talking about a dude on defense? I know we need all the help in the world on offense, but EDC would be absolutely salivating over a defensive player of this caliber falling to pick number 14. Ingraven, I got to toss it to you. Mm-hmm. If Reuben Bain, probably one of the best pass rushers in this draft class, if he falls to 14, should the Ravens take him, or should they not lose sight of what's most important right now, the biggest fish to fry, that interior O-line? Let me know.
See, I'm glad I ain't the one that got to make the decisions for this team, man. Because like that's tough. Because again, offensive line is so important, man. It really is. We were also talking about the depth at edge and the lack thereof. And Reuben Bain will certainly add to that. But then at the same time, that's tough, man. I'm gonna probably stick with offensive line. as tough as it is, I'm gonna stick with offensive line, and I'm going to go with Jesse Minter, just him turning around the whole defense as a whole. But Reuben Bain will be really hard to pass up. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the offensive line in a real tough decision. Because again, that was the biggest issue last year. The offensive line, it knocked our quarterback out. So we want Reuben Bain. We would love for him to knock quarterbacks out for us, but it knocked our quarterback out. So we need protection from guys like Reuben Bain. So let's protect Lamar and open up more lanes for Derrick Henry and open up time for the receivers to get even more open.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Alex?
Thank you for the 5-piece scheme. We'll get to it real quick.
Yes, sir.
I would to have him. This is the most Eagles pick in the world. Let's be real. He's fallen to Philly. They're gonna snatch him up. He'll get passed on because of this, and he'll fall right into Howie Roseman's lap. I've seen this story way too many times. He's renewed Philadelphia Eagle. Now, I would love to take him, but after hearing Ingraven say, the reason why Lamar got hurt is because of the offensive line, I feel like you have to go O-line at 14.
Yeah.
If we took him over O-lineman, I wouldn't be upset, but you got to protect your best player.
Mm-hmm.
I would be upset, Alex. I think I'd be livid. Just like if we take Kenyon Sadiq, I think I'd be livid. You know what I mean? Only because it's like, bro, why do we, and we'll get to this Super Chat donation in just a second here, but like, why do we not value? Why is offensive line not seen as one of the more valuable positions in this league? I'm starting to think that when we evaluate value, right, when we try to say what that means, I think we're talking about assets. We talk about a wide receiver is more valuable than an offensive lineman. It's like, well, how if the wide receiver can't get opportunities if the O-lineman's not doing his job? I think what we really mean is the wide receiver, not only is he going to impact the offense, but he's also going to put butts in seats. He's also going to sell jerseys, right? There's a lot more that goes into it, I think, because, again, if you're just looking at it logically, getting a Vega Ione, if he's there at pick number 14, it may not seem like the sexiest pick, right? But it is the pick that's going to be the most conducive to the Ravens' success this upcoming season. I mentioned 30 minutes ago on this very episode, I said that, a lot of times Lamar Jackson's offense is the Ravens' defense as well, and this would only bolster that, right? The defense would have a whole lot less stress on it if Lamar Jackson was protected. I don't know. It makes sense when you think about it, right? The defense would be way less stressed if the Ravens could just stay on the field longer, right? And that looks like having better protection for Lamar Jackson so he can get you down the field in a methodical way. So you got to eat your fruits and veggies, basically, at the end of the day. You got to eat your fruits and veggies. Like, it's not always about the big, juicy steak that's right there, which that would be, in pause, whatever, right? That would be like what Reuben Bain is, though. That would basically be what he is, Sexy pick, but it's not exactly what the Ravens need right now. So I'm out on the whole Reuben Bain thing. But if they drafted him, hey, look, man, we better get cooking. I mean, I need to see the sack production go way up from where it was just last season. Because I think the Ravens were bottom 3 in sacks? Bottom 3 in sacks? Something like that.
Yeah.
They were bottom 3 or bottom 5 in sacks and pressures, right? They weren't even getting pressures on dudes. So, Trey Hendrickson, hopefully he improves that. I think he will. Mm-hmm. And again, his gravity will take attention away from guys like Mike Green and guys on the other side. And that's where I feel like he's going to eat. So we'll have to see. But we do have another Super Chat donation from B. Moore. Mark, appreciate you dropping the 5-piece in the chat, making it rain here on this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. As if the Ravens get Pickens, it is over for the rest of the NFL. And you know what, man? I mean, I would say, you're totally right about that. But I still think that the Ravens, again, to my point that I just made a minute ago, you would still have to make sure that how is fleshed out correctly. Now, let me ask you this, Ingraven. How do you feel about the current state of the offensive line? Just quickly here, because I was talking to Coach last week. I was talking to Coach and Nitro last week. Shout out to them. And they were saying how, left guard, you already paid John Simpson a big old bag of money. He's going to play at left guard. Right guard, you have options. You have Emory Jones. You have Andrew Voorhees, who I know they still want to see if they can get anything out of either of those players. Mm-hmm. Really, the the biggest question mark, of course, is at center. Losing Tyler Linderbaum, I get that, but I don't think that they would draft a center in round one, especially if if there's not like a natural center there. A lot of people talked about Spencer Fano, but he's more of a natural tackle. Like Ingraven said, we don't want a project with the first round pick. Like we need a guy bona fide. He can start. We know he can be a day one starter there. What would you? I mean, what do you think about the offensive line right now? Do you think that it's possible the Ravens say, you know what? Yeah, I mean, we got left guard, right guard kind of figured out. We just need a center. We could probably get one later in the draft. We're going to go BPA here. I mean, would that make you mad? It would make me mad. But what would you say?
No, it's extremely possible that they do that. A question that you brought up earlier is why don't the Ravens really invest or address the offensive line properly or like they should? And the answer to that question is Lamar Jacskon. It shouldn't be the answer to the question. And Lamar Jacskon being the answer, it should have given you so many different solutions to it, but it hasn't. The reason why I say it's Lamar Jacskon, why he's the answer, that they don't invest in the offensive line like they should, they don't invest in protection like they should, is because with Lamar Jacskon, they've seen and been spoiled by, pass protection breaks down, Lamar can figure it out. The blocking can't hold up, Lamar can figure it out. They can't block the pass rushers. Lamar, he could use his legs. He could buy us some time, and then we'll be all right. And it's a shame. It's counterproductive. It's egregious. It's just really, really bad that the Baltimore Ravens operate like that. And they've been operating like that for a long time. And that's why even with the weapons, too. We don't need to get the best of the best at wide receiver. We just need some guys that got some decent speed. They can get up cool. Lamar will figure it out. So it's been that way for too long. That's why with Derrick Henry, it was nice. It was cool them getting Derrick Henry. That was a nice start, a nice little shift in the right direction. Even when they first signed Lamar Jacskon to his second contract, they got Odell Beckham Jr. Now, it wasn't Odell Beckham Jr. that hadn't played in a year and a half. And Odell Beckham Jr. coming off of injury, but it was still Odell Beckham Jr. I guess. So the Baltimore Ravens, when it comes to the offense, it's been it's okay. Lamar Jacskon, he'll get us out of that. He'll get us through that. We ain't got to have the best of the best. We could get by with just being all right at that position, but specifically with the offensive line. But as you've seen, as I know, Alex, I'm sure he could make a whole compilation video of it where we know the stance from Lamar Jacskon when he's getting ready to pass, and we know it's going to be a big play every single time without fail. It's going to be on the money. Is when he just dropped back, his feet are set, and he's just sitting in a clean pocket. We don't get to see it too many times now. We don't get to see it too often. But when we see that, every single time, Lamar delivers a strike without fail. So it's like the Ravens, they look at it the opposite way. They like, and we all love the highlight plays. We all love the crazy Lamar Jacskon plays. Oh, my goodness, he made this guy miss. He broke out of 2 sacks. Oh, my goodness, he shook this pass rusher and threw a strike down the field. Oh, yeah, let's go, Lamar. We love it. But at the same time, it's something that we hate, too. Because why does he always have to run away from the pass rushers? Why do they always get through the offensive line? Why does he always face so much pressure every single game? Yeah. They don't take care of the offensive line like they need to. So hopefully moving forward, that's something that they can make happen. And that's why the investments are important, because you got to protect 8. Because when 8 is protected, ain't nobody touching him, man. Ain't no other quarterback touching him. The man is the best in the league. And he can do everything that every other quarterback in the league can do. But they can't do everything that he can do. So instead of just relying on his ability, make it a bonus. Don't make it a requirement. Like, for this play to be successful, for our offense to be successful, Lamar got to run. He got to take off. Yeah, we want Lamar to use his legs too, but the arm is the priority. The legs should be a bonus, and protection should be a requirement.
I love. Very well said. Very well said, man. I mean, I'll just say this. I mean, a first-round O-lineman can make a second-round wide receiver look like a first-round talent. just because of the opportunities, just because of the extra opportunities that wide receiver is going to get. You know what I'm saying? So if you're having a hard time battling, if you're having a strong mental battle about, do we want the Ravens to go skill position in round one, or should we, stick to our fruits and veggies and get that offensive lineman, especially, again, if our guy Vega Ione is there, that should kind of tell you where you need to go with that one. O-lineman, it means the world. It means everything. Like my guy Ingraven said, Lamar Jacskon has won MVPs behind a good offensive line with no pass catching weapons. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where you got to look back on the history of the Lamar Jacskon era. Whenever he was protected, the Ravens were great. The Ravens were great, even without the best pass catching talent. And it kind of took me a while to realize that. Back in the early days of Lamar Jacskon with the Ravens, I would always say, we got to get him number one wide receiver. Got to get that. That was like my number one priority, But in hindsight now, it's kind of like I'm looking back at it like some of our best seasons were when we didn't have the best receiving core, but we had really good protection for Lamar Jacskon, and the offense just did what it did because Lamar Jacskon, when he has protection, he can elevate the pass catchers around him. He can elevate them. So we'll just kind of leave that one there. We do have a couple super chat donations. This one coming from Nike's 4444. Alex, let me toss this one to you. Says, what if the Raiders asked for a second for Max Crosby?
I hate to be that guy, but the ship has sailed. He will be a Raider, and it's not going to happen. It's not. My thing, here's my telltale sign. When Jerry Jones and the Cowboys say, you know what, we're good, that's how you know you're good. The Cowboys will give up probably anything for a star player, especially at Max Crosby. They're on the sweepstakes. He's going to be a Raider this year and probably the year after that. So, unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
What would you do, Ingraven? Because me personally, I'm parting ways with that second round pick. And I'm like, hey, look, Max Crosby, water under the bridge, no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying? We got Trey Hendrickson here. Let's ball out. I would do a second round pick and then package up some of those 5th and 4th round picks and maybe try to get back into, day 2 or early day 3, but that's what I would do. What would you do, Ingraven?
Oh, yeah, that second round pick would be going yesterday.
For sure.
Next round pick and Trey Hendrickson. Oh, man, that'd be, you still got Mike Green and you still got, that's going. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Let me see another super chat donation. This one's coming from Raekwon. Appreciate you, Raekwon, making it rain here on this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Y'all going crazy tonight. Says, how about if we trade back to get a Denzel Boston, get extra picks in the second to load up the offensive line? Denzel is the second best in the draft. Alex, have you done a video on Denzel Boston?
I have. I think my second best. I like Jordan Tyson a lot. I really like Tyson. I know he has the I word problems. Yeah, but that man has some talent. He has some talent.
And you know what? And this is perfect because we haven't brought this up to Ingraven. What do you think, Ingraven, would happen if Vega Ione, who is kind of like the consensus, we need to get him in the first round guy for a lot of the Ravens flock? What if he gets snatched up off the board before 14, let's say a couple picks before? Do you think that the Ravens could, do you think that they would or should trade back, like Raekwon is saying here?
Oof, man, that's tough. I think it depends on who's available. But if you could trade back and stay in the first round, if you could trade back and stay in the first round, if it's just really nothing that's worth it at 14, like really nobody that's, I don't want to say nobody worth it at 14. I ain't want to take no shot at them, but nobody who's just, all right, knock it out the park for your team at 14, and you could trade back but stay in the first round, I think that would be solid. But then at the same time, it's like, man, the Ravens with even more picks, what they getting ready to do? So hopefully, if they traded back and acquired some extra picks in the later rounds, then they could use some of those picks and move back up at different rounds. Like you said, Coach suggested like moving back up in the third round. If they got to move up in the second, or even if they got to move around in the first again or in the second too, just use those picks. Don't hold on to all them picks. Don't be like, oh man, hey, we got 13 picks now. We about to select 13 players. You ain't got to do all that, man. Just send some of them picks somewhere else and get some more people. But I think bottom line, it just all depends on who's available at 14. If they are a game changer for you, if they are somebody who's going to come in and, oh, yeah, this is the guy, great. But if you can get away with moving back a little bit and staying in the first, then I would do that.
Yeah.
Real quick. Talking about picks. I am a UFL connoisseur. I do watch UFL. I think it's a fantastic league, fun to watch.
Okay.
I was watching this weekend, and I was making some videos. I heard in my right ear, Jalen Moore, incomplete pass, broken up by Sean Wade.
Oh. Wow. No bet.
Old friend.
And here's my problem.
There.
Oh, hold on now. Got some gifted. We'll get to we got some gifted real quick. But that's like EDC is the guy who would just kind of take guys to take them, and we want less of that. Give me 6, maybe 7 picks, and then the other 4 trade them up, because right now we're good on corners. We have Koenig coming back, Longer Beam coming back. I don't see the point in drafting a guy round 1, 2, 3, 4. Who are they going to take over? Humphrey, Wiggins, or Awuzie? I don't see it. TJ Tampa? I don't see it. So just how quick the draft can come and go. One day you're in the NFL, next day in the UFL.
That's a fact. We do have a couple more gifts, man. It's Christmas, man. It's raining. Ooh. It's raining here on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 398. Y'all going crazy on this one. Again, big shout out to our guy Ingraven for coming on rocking with us here on this episode. But huge shout out to who we got. Let me see, my guy Big Cuz with the 5 gifted Purple Rain Podcast memberships in the chat. Appreciate you, Big Cuz. If you are a recipient of one of these memberships from our guy Big Cuz, please drop him a thank you in the chat, man, because guess what? This is right on time. This is happening right on time. If you were not a Rain Gang member of the channel before, and you are now, that means you're automatically qualified for our episode 400 giveaway, which is happening, again, like you said, in 2 episodes. It's 398 right now, and so 2 episodes from now will be 400. Me and Alex have decided that instead of giving away some Purple Rain merch, which we were going to do, but we'll probably do that sometime down the line, I think it kind of matches up perfectly with this new jersey drop, this new Ravens jersey drop. So what better way to kick off the new Ravens era with these next flight jerseys than by giving them away right here on the Purple Rain Podcast for one of our lucky channel members. So again, all you got to do to qualify for that giveaway on episode 400, all you got to do is become a member. You're automatically put into a list, and you will automatically qualify for that jersey giveaway. We're going to be picking one lucky winner. So shout out to our guy Big Cuz for getting 5 people in here with the memberships. Appreciate that so much, man. And again, all of you guys are in the running now for those new jerseys. So if you don't want to buy the jersey, hey, look, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Get a little Purple Rain Podcast membership, and you'll have a chance to win. But thank you so much, Big Cuz. It means a whole lot to us here. We also had another super chat donation from Williams. Williams dropping the 5 piece. Thank you so much, brother. Making it rain. Says, who out of the centers do you favor? I know Sam Heck and Jake Slaughter. Thoughts on the 4th round guy from Iowa? Played backup for Linderbaum and Ione. For me, centers, the one that I've heard the most about that the Ravens could potentially select is the guy from Sam Heck from Kansas State. I've heard a lot about him. I've seen a couple of things on him. Haven't really done a huge deep dive on centers and things like that. But that would probably be a guy that I'm really keen on getting. Jake Slaughter, I've heard some ups and I've heard some downs on him. So I don't know about him too much, but I would probably say Sam Heck. Have you? I don't think you've made any videos for centers, have you, Alex?
I don't do linemen. I don't know what a good rep is, what a bad rep is. I leave it to professionals. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can do D-line, edge, safety, corner, linebacker, receiver, running back, lineman, O-lineman. You got.
I'll tell you this though. Center, and let me know if you agree. Ingraven. Center should be selected with the first 3 picks. First 3 selections, one of them has got to be a center. It's got to be a center. I know we're not going to reach for one in the first round, but 2nd, 3rd round, if some of these guys, again, Sam Heck, Jake Slaughter are there, I think you got to take them, man. You need, that is and I say this all the time here on the show. Center, every play starts with the center. It is so important. We remember right before Tyler Linderbaum got here, we were dealing with the likes of Matt Skura, and the ball was being snapped all over the place. It was a huge problem for Lamar Jacskon in playoff games. That actually got him hurt one time as well. Another time he fumbled because of it in a playoff game, even though that was with Linderbaum. So center's massively important, right? It is paramount that they spend a high draft capital on a center, if you ask me. But what say you, Ingraven?
I would even say even pushing it out to round 4, possibly 2. But yes, definitely the top four. First round, yeah, I'll probably say no. But yeah, second through fourth, I would say, because with the center, that's why I was really happy when they got Tyler Linderbaum though, because he was somebody that was just a straight up center. I didn't want anybody who, all right, this is a tackle and you moving to center. This is a guard and you moving to center. Now guys can do it now, and then we got Dwayne Ledford, so that should help too. But when we got Tyler Linderbaum, I just wanted somebody that had been a center, had played center, because like you brought up with Pat McCarry, he played center for us, but he hadn't done that before. We had Matt Scorer too. We had guys that transitioned from another position to end up being centers. And again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I would just want somebody who's been there, done that, and been doing it. So yeah, I will go rounds 2 through 4 for a center. Again, depending on how everything drops. Slaughter, he's from Florida, right? Is he the Gator?
Slaughter. I thought he was from Georgia. I could be wrong. Let me see. Jake Slaughter.
I could probably be wrong then. You probably right on.
Oh no, he's a Gator. No, he's a Gator. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. Yep.
So I didn't do no deep dive into centers either. I remember talking with my guy Jason from Huddle Up Films about some different centers too. But yeah, that's the guy for not even just centers. He know about the whole draft up and down, everybody in detail. I don't know how he
except quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He hates quarterbacks.
Yeah. And I mean, he got every reason to. We don't need nothing from no quarterback right now. But I don't know how he does it, man.
Me neither.
We've talked about it.
Yeah. I tip my cap to anybody who's like really, really in tune with like some of these guys coming out of college, because in order to like really, really know these guys, you have to be watching during the season. It's not just something that you can just like once, March rolls around and NFL season's over, you can just start doing deep dives into college. No, you actually have to already be familiar with a lot of these cats. So, guys like Jason from Huddle Up Films, I give a big shout to him. Coach Sip Tutali, he's all over it as well with his weekly draft content as well. He was actually just live a little bit earlier today with Vach Lombardi, and they were talking about draft for like an hour or two. They had a really good conversation. I loved that episode. So yeah, big shout out to all of the people who cover the draft here in the Ravens content community space. And draft is next week. Again, we will be live for the draft. And Ingraven, what do you do for the draft? Do you do live?
Normally we go live for the first round, and then after that, we'd be so exhausted after that first round. I cannot go live for rounds for the rest of it. But yeah, that first round we go live for it. Have some fun, and it's cool, man. And then we just keep everybody updated with everybody who the Ravens end up selecting after that. But that's it. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Apologize if you guys can hear my dog in the background. He's a little bit upset. There's like ambulances outside for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but he's upset about that. Now, listen, we got one more thing to get into. One more thing to touch on before we wrap up this episode of the show. News came out over the weekend, right? Over the weekend, we had some news come out about this whole collusion case that's been kind of like, looming over the Ravens and Lamar Jacskon. It has been for the past couple of years. So it says here, and this is according to Pro Football Talk, it says the ruling in the appeal of the collusion grievance says that the Ravens twice offered quarterback Lamar Jacskon 3-year, fully guaranteed contracts, but he declined both deals. Now, Ingraven, I'm sure you've already read up on this and stuff like that, and I want to get your opinion on like what do you think this is all about, and why do you think we're getting this information now? And do you think that has any sort of impact on what we could possibly see with a future contract negotiation with the Ravens and Lamar?
Maybe, but I don't really think it'll have much bearing on it at all. That was the past. I think it was a case that had just been going on for a while, but now it's finally getting to come to a close soon. But with that, when I did see that they offered Lamar Jacskon fully guaranteed contracts twice, but it's like even with that, we don't know how much those contracts were for.
Right.
It could have been a 2-year $40 million contract, $20 million per. And that is technically a fully guaranteed contract, but it ain't for no money. So we don't know what the terms of the deals were. So it's like it's easy to say that, we offer Lamar Jacskon 2 fully guaranteed, not just once, but twice fully guaranteed contracts. But without having the details behind it, it really ain't saying much. And again, it was obvious that the NFL was colluding against Lamar Jacskon. Like, that has never happened before, to where multiple teams like come out and say, we will not be pursuing Lamar Jacskon. That was one of the craziest times back then.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but it was so obvious that they was all in this thing together, man. So it worked out for the Ravens. It worked out for Lamar Jacskon. I think Lamar Jacskon definitely got the upper hand on the Ravens. He has leverage because we see, like, they ain't even signed him to a contract extension yet, but they did have to reconstruct his deal to gain some cap space, but they just pushed it to next year. And he still, after next year, he could be a free agent. And he ain't got, it's a no tag clause and no trade clause. So if Lamar wants to stay, he'll stay. If he wants to leave, then he'll be able to leave, and the Ravens won't be able to do anything. And with those high cap hits, this year it was $75 million, but of course they dropped it down. But next year it's up to $84 million, I believe, is his cap hit. So he has a lot of power from that whole ugly situation. But I just think, again, the way that they worded it is so much more to the story that we just don't know. Then the last part, it reminds me of what you brought up with Reuben Bain earlier. How the reporter, Ali, I forget his name, but he brought up, Reuben Bain, he, of course, got into the accident, and the girl was in a coma for 3 months, and then she unfortunately passed. And that sucks. And it was like, he got cited for reckless driving, but then the charges got dismissed. But when you first read the story, it's like, oh my goodness, that is crazy. And of course, the NFL is a dirty business. That was dropped intentionally, I'm sure, by some team to drop Reuben Bain's stock in hopes that he can drop in the draft. But when you first hear that story, it's like, oh, that's really bad. And it is sad because somebody passed. And even if somebody didn't pass, somebody got hurt. You hear reckless driving, you're like, oh my goodness, this man must have been going crazy on the road. What was he thinking? What was he doing? But then I read today that he was going either 45 in a 50 or 50 in a 55. So he was going a little under the speed limit. So again, it's little details of stuff that get left out that make it look like something is a lot worse than what it is. And that's exactly, or it can make it look like it's better than what it is. So I think that's what's happening with this Lamar Jacskon and collusion story with the Ravens being said, they offered him 2 fully guaranteed contracts. Oh, okay, cool, you did. So what were the terms of it? Then that'll give us some more insight to everything.
Wow. I didn't realize about the Reuben Bain thing. He's going under the speed limit. Like, so you hear reckless driving, you think he's going like 100 in a 50.
Right.
Wow.
I'm about to say, I just don't like, bro, like, with that hairline, I wouldn't assume that bro is like going crazy like that. You know what I mean? Like, he looked like a stand-up dude. Dudes with hairlines like that, they don't be driving Hellcats around at 90 miles, like 130, you know what I'm saying, in a 60. They don't be doing all that. So I was kind of taken aback. But now it is interesting that you bring up that he was going a little bit below the speed limit. So I'm really wondering, like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like what? How did that cause? I don't know. And thoughts and prayers to the family of the one who passed away and stuff like that. Again, like Ingraven said, you never like to hear stuff like that. But I do think that also to his point that they did this for a reason, and it's the timing is everything. I always say, like, why are we getting this information when we're getting it? And I think that this is a classic case of that. And like Ingraven said, Bain might just fall because of that. And if he falls to 14, I still don't think that the Ravens should take a swing on him, only because they got a Trey Hendrickson. If the Trey Hendrickson acquisition never happened and we were without Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby and we were just basically all in on Mike Green, hopefully stepping up, then I would say go ahead and draft a Reuben Bain at pick number 14. But that's neither here nor there. Really quick, we do have a new sub, Abrigirl Pretty. Appreciate you for the sub. Thank you for joining the Rain Gang family here. But back to the whole collusion thing with Lamar Jacskon. Like, I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but around the time that this was all going on, the league was still kind of reeling from that historic and kind of infamous Deshaun Watson deal. Am I right?
Right.
Yes, and I think that it came out that Lamar Jacskon had wanted to match that contract of Deshaun Watson. And that was why, the league was like, they kind of got together and was like, no, we're not about to let this become a normal standard thing. We're not doing these fully guaranteed deals for these players for, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And that's what ended up, like Ingraven said, teams are coming out saying that they're not interested in Lamar Jacskon, whatever. It's nasty. It's all nasty stuff. And again, I also don't like how, like you mentioned, they mentioned that he declined 2 offers. So basically, it looks like Lamar Jackson's hard to work with, hard to deal with. You know what I mean? And then people start bringing up the stuff about him not having an agent and his mother. Is she doing him a disservice and all this sort of stuff? But you look at the track record of it all. Like Lamar Jackson has made nothing but like just the best moves. Right? He's already been the highest paid quarterback of all time. He's gonna get that, that title again when he re-up on this contract. I think it would have been not smart for Lamar Jackson to come back to the negotiation table this year when his stock is lower than it's been in recent years. The Ravens are coming off of a down year. The Ravens could easily say, yeah, Lamar, we want to extend you. We'd love to extend you, but came off a little bit of a down year for your standards, and they're telling him all this stuff to his face because that's how he decides to negotiate and stuff. He cuts out the middleman, no agent again. And then the I words, we have a little bit of concerns about, maybe going into next year. So right now, this is what we're able to offer you. And Lamar's like, okay, all right, cool. No, do what you got to do. Restructure. I'll play for, the $40 million cap hit, whatever, this year. And watch what I do with this new head coach. Watch what I do with this revamped offensive line that doesn't have Daniel Faalele on it anymore. I don't know if it's going to have Andrew Voorhees, but watch what I do with this, and then we'll talk next year. And his stock is going to be even higher. They're going to have to pay him eventually. And I think that next season will probably be, or next offseason that is, will probably be when they get it done. But again, nasty stuff here. And of course, who other than Pro Football Talk? Mike Florio and friends.
Mike Flores.
Yeah. Who other than them to be dropping a story like this, on a random Friday or Saturday, whenever it came out, But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Alex, you had something?
Nasty. On a Saturday afternoon, 4:12 p.m. on Saturday.
Come on now.
Nonsense like this.
Come on now.
Blasphemy.
Insane. But listen. So I think we're going to go ahead and leave that there in this episode, guys, of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming through to this episode 398 of PRP. Real quick, clap it up for our guy Ingraven coming through, rocking out with us for an hour and a half, man. Doesn't even feel like it's been an hour and a half, man. We always love when you come through and, you talk. We can chop it up with you, get your takes. You said a lot of interesting stuff on this episode. So if you are just getting in here and you're watching live, make sure you rewind back to the start, right, and watch from the beginning because we had a lot of good talks here on this episode of the show. Again, thank you to everybody for supporting, subscribing, gifting memberships, super chat donations, liking the video. I don't know where we are with the likes right now, but if you haven't already, that's still free. You leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new as well. And then also one more thing, housekeeping. Again, episode 400 is right around the corner. We will be giving away one of the new Next Flight jerseys on our episode 400. We'll be choosing one special winner from our membership list. So if you're a member of the Purple Rain podcast, we had 5 new ones today because of gifteds from our guy Big Cuz. You will automatically be entered in the running to win that new jersey. So with that being said, again, Ingraven, we appreciate you. We love you, man. We want to have you back on before the off season's over, if that's okay. We'll probably hit you up in maybe a couple months or something like that. And once the season's getting ready to go, we can chop it up again. But Ingraven, just in case anybody here doesn't know where to find you and what you got going on, let us know.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that don't know what we got going on, and that's okay. But our channel is Ingraven Viz. We just talk about our favorite team, the Baltimore Ravens. We do it every day, even though we did take today off. But we do it every day, every single day, Monday through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just the latest and greatest what's happening with our team. That's it. Subscribe. It's Team Keep It Clean. Everybody welcome. We have fun over there just like we have fun over here. Wherever we go, we just have a good time. So I appreciate y'all. Shout out to the rain game. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to everybody that's live in the building right now. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Y'all have built such an excellent community over here. It's always cool. Even going in like different chats and stuff. Even our own, like in the comment section, when y'all come through in the comment section, but even in the Ravens, like their live streams and stuff, seeing a bunch of purple umbrellas and stuff, I say, oh yeah, that's rain gang right there, baby. So y'all been doing y'all thing, man. So I love to see it, and I hope y'all keep on going, man. 400 episodes, like we tried to say the other day, but Mike was just having so much issues. But 400 episodes is a real deal, man, because people start and they stop, which I get because it's tough, it's hard. There's so many people out here doing the same thing, but y'all, of course, have put your own spin on it. Y'all do it your own way, just bringing the consistency. Then even Sutton jumping out there too with the covering the different topics and What's the word I'm looking for? Just you know what I'm talking about. The live stream that you do covering all that stuff.
Oh, the sudden reactions. Sudden
Yeah, there we
reactions.
go.
Yeah.
And then,
Those
of
are a
course,
lot of fun.
yeah, and then simply, of course, making an edit for every single body. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it so fast. It don't make
Me
no
neither.
sense to me. It never will. It's crazy. And then y'all bringing it together for this. So it's perfect, man. Y'all really got y'all thing, man. So I appreciate
that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we appreciate you each and every time coming on, man. And we can't wait to have you the next time because there's a lot more to talk about. This has been probably the most eventful Ravens off season. So we might need your help, here soon. So we'll be in touch. But again, appreciate everyone for coming through. This has been episode 398 of PRP. With that being said, I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out.
Yeah, so what do you call these Ravens? The Real Housewives?
The Real Housewives of the Baltimore Ravens. That's exactly what it is.
Every single day you'll get something. And
Yeah.
thank you for spending your Monday evening with us. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you again to Ingraven. And as always, stay positive and test negative.
Yes. And never, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. This has been episode 398 of PRP. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.